Right, in this lesson, you're going to learn how to change the color of something. Because once we generate something, if you don't like the color or you want to modify the color, and you modify the prompt by changing the color in there, it's not just going to change the color, it's also going to change the object. Let me demonstrate and show you how to fix that. So let's grab our lasso tool. And why don't we just make a little selection around her here, and we're going to give her a little bit of an arm, and let's go down there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit Generative Fill, and why don't we give her a dark blue t-shirt. And click Generate. All right, so there's a shirt there. There's a second one, and there's a third one. I think I like the style of the first one. Now, what if I want to make that blue a little bit darker, or I want to make it a completely different color? So, for example, we could go in here and we could change it from dark blue to a deep blue, or we could make it a deep green. And then hit Generate. All right, I do like the color of that. That's very cool. But if you look at this, look around the collar and, down the bottom, the sleeve, it doesn't fit as well. It's a different shirt. Let me drag this out here. So if we look at that one, notice it's a completely different shirt. So what we want to do is keep this shirt and make this green. So how do we do that? Well, let me show you. What we want to do is, rather than using the generator, we're just going to use a traditional tool inside of Photoshop. And we're going to grab the adjustment layer, and we're going to grab our hue saturation. So let's grab our hue saturation. Now I only want it to affect the layer directly underneath. I don't want to affect the entire image. So the way to affect just the layer directly under an adjustment layer is to hit this little icon there. And this will clip it to that layer. Alternatively, if you hold down the Alt or the Option key, you can click to toggle between that. So when you see that little arrow, it's only going to affect that layer. That's what we want. Now, if we go into hue saturation and we move the hue, notice we can change it and we can get that green, but it's also picking up the areas of her skin where the selection was. So clearly that's not going to work. I'm going to double click to reset that. What we need to do is constrain it or clamp it to a particular color. And we can do that by grabbing this little finger, and then what we don't want to do is hit a highlight area, and we don't want to hit a shadow area. We're looking for the diffuse value or the true value of that blue, which is right in there. So I'm clicking. Notice as I click, it adds this clamp in here, and it constrains it to that area. So now when I change the color, it's just changing that area. Now, here's the thing. With this area, we can expand it by dragging out, or we can clamp it in by dragging it in. Sometimes you'll get a selection like this. So just pull it out a little bit more to make sure you've selected the whole thing. Same thing on the other side. Just making sure that we're really in there. There we go. Now we've selected the whole thing. Much better. Okay. So the hue is going to give us the direct color. So, we could be reds. We could literally make this any color we want, right? And we said we were going to do a green, so let's do a greenish tone. So the saturation is the amount of color. If I take it all the way to the left, it gives us gray. Go all the way to the right, and it's iridescent. So let's just start about there, and then we've got the lightness. If we push the lightness to the left, it's going to give us a deeper color. To the right, it goes brighter. And in fact, you can make that white, or you can make it black. So we can literally create any color we want. Let's go darker, give it more saturation. And maybe just fine tune the amount of green that we want. And then if you look at that right there, that's how easy it is for us to change the color of something. And if we hide that layer, there's the blue, there's the green.